This podcast is for entertainment and commentary purposes only. The views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not reflect any organizations or affiliates. This show may contain adult language and mature themes. Listener discretion is advised. Portions of media may be used under fair use for commentary and criticism. Nothing discussed on this podcast should be taken as professional, legal, or financial advice.
It's JM and Digz, two kids that never quit. From the ring to the booth, yeah, they still talk their shit. Hey! Thursdays on your feed, little ones, you don't skip if you can't.
All right, welcome to another episode of the JM and Digz podcast. I am JM.
Digz, what's up, homies?
What's up? So Digz, I know we had a kind of rough week at work for us. So we had some sad news about our ending segment. Go ahead and tell them.
We're not going to be having the final cut this week. It's been a
So
very hectic week.
so we normally end the show with Diggs' section. He hadn't had time this week to really get prepared for it, so we're not going to do it this week. No big deal. We just kind of packed the slate with a lot of sports, and we'll see what we get into if we have some extra time, but it is what it is. Also, Diggs, I'm trying to do the share chat thing with you, and it's not working.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, I just sent you an invite. Try that. See if that works. But we'll try to get this stuff together so it's working on. All right, there we go. There we go. Says shared chat is enabled on my end. Does it say that for you?
Share chat is on my end.
All right, perfect. Good. All right, we got that all resolved. Sweet. Welcome to the show, everybody. Appreciate everyone that is joining. And we'll just, not try to waste too much time, and we'll get right into it. Let me get my stuff up because we got a lot of stuff to get into for the NFL. So, our first story, the NFL. Damar Hamlin is returning to the Buffalo Bills. So the reason I thought this was a unique story to talk about was simply because I don't know how many diehard NFL fans actually watch the show or listen to the show. But if you are a diehard football fan and you know who Damar Hamlin is and you remember the last time he was with the Bills, it was one of the most tragic events that has ever happened in an NFL game that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. You're talking about a non-contact hit. This man just collapsed on the field, and the game actually got postponed because of the result of whatever health issue. I'm going to read this article and kind of get into, because that was 2022. So it feels like a lot more time went by, Diggs, since 2022. But really,
That was only 2022.
yeah, and he's played for another team since then, I believe. But let's get into this article. Buffalo Bills have re-signed safety Damar Hamlin to a 1-year contract after his 2025 season was cut short by injury. The team announced Friday Hamlin, 28, played in only 5 games last year after he suffered a pectoral injury in practice that required surgery and ultimately ended his season in October. He returns to a Bills safeties room that has added C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Geno Stone in free agency this offseason. A 2021 6th-round pick, Hamlin began his career as a Bill backup and special teams player. He had opportunities to start in 2022 due to injuries, including a January 2nd, 2023 Monday Night Football game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, this is it. So it was actually 2023 when this happened. My bad. Which Hamlin experienced cardiac arrest and had to be resuscitated on the field. And it was the craziest game. It's Monday Night Football, which is one of the most viewed football games of the week. And they had to back up an ambulance onto the field up to almost to the 50-yard line because it was like a kick. I think it was a kickoff. But he didn't get hit. He didn't get touched. He was running full speed. And then, bam, cardiac arrest. He just went down, and immediately no one knew how to react. obviously, luckily, it's the NFL. They got on both sidelines plenty of medical staff. They also got medical staff waiting at every exit of the building. So he did get immediate medical attention. But yeah, he had to get resuscitated on the field before getting transferred to a medical center. So after recovering, Hamlin was medically cleared to return to football, and he made the choice to continue playing, serving as a backup in 2023. And that injury pretty much made the Buffalo Bills paranoid because like he was a backup for the rest of that year, even though he was cleared by doctors to play again. They just wouldn't let him play. So he kind of felt like that's like his cardiac arrest situation was the reason why he couldn't get his starting job back. Anyway,
Makes sense.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like you don't want to risk something like that happening, and the NFL is probably involved too because like they postponed the game and then never redid the game. The game just ended as I don't even know how they counted that. I don't know if the team, when they ended the game prematurely, I don't know if they just said whoever had the most points wins or they declared it a tie. I don't even know how that worked, really, in the end of that deal. But it is what it is. But from the dungeon, what's up, buddy? I see you in chat. The sounds like John Madden from Sega Genesis game backing up an ambulance on. Okay. Yeah. That's old school right there. Anyway, so in 2024, Hamlin earned the starting safety job, starting 14 games and recording the first 2 interceptions of his career. Hamlin's impact has gone far beyond the football field. His Chasing M's Foundation receives millions in the aftermath of his cardiac arrest. In the years since, Chasing M's, Hamlin, the Bills, the NFL, and countless others have done work to spread heart health awareness through the knowledge and the use of CPR and AEDs, including through new legislation and CPR tours. So you got to love a guy that takes something that was so tragic and scary and literally could have lost his life, and he turned it into a positive, and he's able to give back to a lot of other people. And, you know, it's just great news to see that the Buffalo Bills are kind of trying to regain that trust with him after all those years ago. You know, he was he had that moment. I didn't feel like they treated him well that year, like after that situation. They gave him a chance the next year. I think he just recently played with the Pittsburgh Steelers before re-signing now back to Buffalo. So kind of cool to see Damar Hamlin still out there doing it after having such a scary situation back in 2023. So it's kind of crazy.
Shocked he actually returned after that.
And that's the thing. Like, that's mental toughness right there. Because when something like that happens to you, at such a young age too. I don't know the exact age he was, but he was young when that happened. He was young. So yeah, if it was me, because we can actually talk about this. When we were indie wrestling, Digz, back in 2007, 2008, I forgot when was my trap injury.
Don't remember exactly when.
But you know, yeah, that was like for me. I was like, you know, do I want to continue to do this? I'm a young kid, fresh out of high school. I don't have a real job that has like gives me health benefits, nothing like that. And even if I did, how many injuries can I really get from wrestling on the side that they're going to be okay with, right? Eventually you'd lose those health benefits. So I made a decision in my life to stop doing the whole independent pro wrestling thing and go and get a job and, you know, do a different path. So, yeah, I can understand that from our situation when we were young and we did the indie stuff. That's just the way it is, you know. Were you guys a tag team when you indie wrestled? No, me and Digz never got a chance to tag in an actual indie show ever. We've done some backyard bullshit and training session stuff where we tagged or were on a team or whatever. But honestly, Digz and I were each other's best sparring partners for training, and we got to work, 2 or 3 matches against each other, I think. We did at least 2 during the Kafrita Farms tour.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know if we did another one anywhere else, though, but
I think we did. I'm not 100% positive.
So we never tagged. Digz was very shy in those days. So he wore a mask. He was like more of a mask character. Where me, I was more of myself, kind of just, that typical wrestling slang term of like yourself turned up a notch. That's kind of what I thought I was, at least. I don't know really what the fuck I was now looking back at it, but that's what it was. Anyway, that was our little indie experience. We never did anything solo or tag that equals the level of like a Colin Parker or anything like that. So anyway, moving on. Shadour Sanders changing his number, Digz. He is going from the number 12 back to his college number and high school number, number 2. So Cleveland Browns quarterback Shadour Sanders switching from number 12 to number 2 for the 2026 NFL season. He returns to his favored number after it became available following receiver DeAndre Carter's departure. The change aligns with his SS2 branding used during his college career at Jackson State and Colorado. So this just seems like a money grab situation for him. He's had that SS2 brand since, especially, I think he might have started it in Jackson State, but when he went to Colorado and he was getting coached by his dad, that's really when the SS2 thing started. And Digz, we all know who started this whole, like, initial, like, number brand thing in the NFL. It was all in football, at least. It was definitely Tom Brady. I don't remember anyone doing, like, you remember TB12. I don't remember anyone before TB12 doing, like, that's my brand. That's like what I'm going to be like selling myself for. You know what I mean? If anyone knows anyone, then let me know. But I don't know anyone. From the Dungeon still wants to talk wrestling right now. Wrestling names. I was the Maniac Martin. Digz was the Deadcast. That was it. That's it. Anyway. That's pretty much the end of that story. But another cool story coming up. Super Bowl returning to Vegas in 2029. And Digz, I don't know. Between pro wrestling and the NFL, do you feel like this stadium has been like used for like every major event since it's been opened?
I don't understand why they want to keep going back and back.
It's got to be money. It's got to be money.
So I was going to say, getting decent brand deal because they know they're going to make shit ton off of it.
I don't know. I think the infrastructure of Vegas, that's why the WWE loves it so much. They're doing back-to-back years, right? They're in Vegas this year, right? So WWE's in Vegas again this year. They just did it last year in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've already announced the next time they're going to Vegas. They love, these giant events.
Wait, they did 2 years in Vegas straight?
WWE, yes. So, and that got changed too. And that's why a lot of people are like upset with WWE because they feel like it's a money grab system now because TKO is running the shop. But so like they did Vegas last year, and then it did so well that they allowed Vegas to bid again for WrestleMania this year. And then I think it was originally announced. You might have to look this up, Sanchez. It was originally announced that WrestleMania was going to be somewhere else, and then they switched it and said, no, we're going back to Vegas. So I think it might have been like New Orleans or something like that it was going to go to. And then, like, last minute they said, no, the Vegas bid, the Vegas bid was better. So something like that happened. And I don't really understand how it works in the NFL versus the WWE. The WWE just has this.
So it says that Mexico was considered and London.
They always kind of do that, though. They always kind of try to tease like they're going to go international, and they never do. Same with both these entities, too. I'm talking about the NFL and WWE. They both kind of tease that they're going to go overseas for these big events. and then they never pulled the trigger because I think what they're worried about is the American consumerism. It's different in different countries, and how many Americans are really going to spend the extra money to commute out there? Yeah, you got your percentile of guys of fans that can afford it, but
The average person can't.
the average person can't. So
I just bought tickets sitting almost by the last row by where the entrance ramp is was $400 for 4 tickets. Same seats, just 2 sections over, with 300 or something.
oh
each.
shit. This is what sucks about not having alerts on. Yo, shout out to Rain89, bro. I didn't even know you were here, bro. He just gifted 10 gifted subs in chat. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Shout out to Rob. Totally missed that. Sorry. But yeah, so how much were the seats again? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh yeah, good. To get the seats just 2 sections over from where mine are, exact same row. It's like double the amount, triple the amount. 300 each ticket.
So based on the section, does it go closer to hard cam?
Yeah, it's pretty much all they have is hard cam.
And they're the most expensive, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then and it's funny because back in the day, when you buy tickets to go to a WWE event, you used to be able to just like hard cam would sell out first, and then literally all the seats would fill in. It's opposite now because everyone's trying to save money. Everyone's trying to buy the other sections. They don't give a fuck about being on TV anymore, and then hard cam sells out last.
You used to be able to go to a pay-per-view for like $90.
Oh, dude, I remember it was actually around this time of the year, back in '99 or something like that, '98. I can't remember what year it was. It was a Backlash pay-per-view, and the main event was Stone Cold versus The Rock for the WWE Championship. My mom and my stepdad Joe got me and my cousins E and Scumbag fucking tickets. We were kids, little kids. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. But so I actually get to see Stone Cold versus The Rock in a main event at a pay-per-view as a young kid. I got spoiled. But those tickets cost they cost them like $60 a piece, like you said. Like they were mad cheap. We weren't in like the best section, but we weren't in the worst section. You know what I mean? Like we were in the middle, and I could see the ring clearly, and it was crazy. But yeah, anyway, back to this topic. Super Bowl returning to Vegas 2029. They just announced it this past week. And then their statement was, "We're excited to bring the Super Bowl back to Las Vegas, provide our fans another incredible experience in one of America's greatest sport and entertainment destinations," said NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Super Bowl, damn, I don't even know what number that is. I can't translate in the Roman numerals. LV3 is what now? That's going to be, because we're in 60s now? Or is it LX3?
63.
How come the picture says X and this article says V? I just noticed that too. Oh, and actually later in the article it goes to X. So it is X. It's LX3. So I don't know what number that is. Anyway.
62.
It's 62?
Yep.
Wait. I thought you just said 63, but okay. Whatever. This Super Bowl will mark the second time the Super Bowl will be held in Vegas. The city debuted as a first-time Super Bowl host in 2024, welcoming more than 330,000 visitors to the region, generating more than $1 billion in economic impact, according to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Holy shit! All right there, Digz. That's why Vegas wants these events there.
Oh, yeah. It's a week of people.
It's a $1 billion week. You make $1 billion as a city in a week. That's fucking nuts. That is crazy. No wonder why these people just kept going doing events there.
It's about the same when WWE goes.
It must be. Because I don't know if Sanchez, did you say you found the article of like who was supposed to be the host this year for WrestleMania, and then they changed it back to Vegas?
It just says London and Mexico were considered. That was it.
Okay, they did not. So they literally did an announcement. So they made an announcement at the last WrestleMania that the WrestleMania was going to be somewhere else, and then they changed it. That's what I'm really looking for. Rain says plus all the legal betting. Well, the legal betting though, I mean, I don't know if it doesn't make a difference if the legal bet because they can legal bet now in most, like Vegas can bet on these games no matter where they play, right? So if the game's in the city, does that make a difference in the betting?
It was supposed to be at the Caesar Superdome in New Orleans.
All right, that's why I thought New Orleans. I thought that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they made the announcement. So WWE made an announcement during WrestleMania last year.
Yeah. Specifically, The Rock made the announcement.
Yeah, yep. And then that got changed, and they're going back to Vegas. So, yep. Yeah, very true. Very true. I was just talking about the Vegas betting though, Dungeon. But very true. You're right. You can just bet on apps now. All those there's a shitload of apps now. Very, very true. But anyway, there you go. I there's definitely an appeal to Vegas hosting these major events, and fuck me if I understand, but I don't. It's definitely about money, dude. $1 billion.
It's all about money.
Yeah, $1 billion in a week. That's crazy, bro. That is absolutely crazy. All right, moving on. Last week we talked about the NFL proposals going in for changes in the rules and bylaws and resolutions. So now this is all the approvals going into next season. The NFL announces new playing rules, bylaws, resolutions for 2026. And the first thing that you're going to see here on the screen is the 2026 approved playing rules summary by the competition. All right, so this is number one. By the competition committee to permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time during the game. So they're bringing it back. You can now, at any point you want to change the momentum of the game, you can just do an onside kick. This is number two, by the competition committee to eliminate the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50-yard line. They got rid of that rule. That was happening a lot last year, so they're like, fuck that. And then number three, by the competition committee to modify the kick alignment requirements for the receiving team player in the setup zone. So I think before they weren't allowed to change the way they set everybody up before the kick, and now they're actually allowed to, if I'm not mistaken by the way that is written. And then on the graphic, this next graphic is going to show number 4, but it's actually listed as 4A, and I don't know if they've just haven't released 4B yet, but whatever. So Sanchez, the next one. By commission committee to allow league personnel to consult with on-field officials when considering disqualifying for both flagrant football acts and non-football acts without being called on the field. So this all comes to the point of last season, I guess, there was an issue where a player got into it with a fan at a stadium and the refs didn't see it. So nothing happened. The player was allowed to stay. I guess whatever he did, he I guess it was enough to be able to be ejected from the game. But no one ever saw it, never got ejected. It went viral on the internet. Then the NFL followed suit by suspending the player anyway, but that was after the fact. So
Safe face.
And actually, let's skip number 5 and go right to the next articles. It's the same thing, Sanchez. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, we're out of order.
No, the picture got moved somehow. What the hell?
There we go. Perfect. All right, so number 5 of these changes is for 1 year only to allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious mistakes made by on-field officials that impact the game in the event that there is a work stoppage involving the game officials represented by the NFL Referees Association. And that gets us right into a whole nother article. The NFL approves this 1 year rule basically because the NFL is preparing for a potential referee strike this season, as the current CBA with the NFL Referees Association had expired on May 31st. With negotiations currently at a standstill, the league is hiring and training replacement officials, with training set to begin May 1st. So that was yesterday. It already started. And they're going to potentially be working the games in 2026 this year. So, Digz, we talked about this a little bit last week because we talked about the last time this had happened in the NFL when they had replacement referees, and it's going to happen again. It looks like the NFL is, by this rule change alone, like to approve a 1 year rule because you're probably not going to come to an agreement. There's got to be something in these terms and conditions of this bargaining agreement that the NFL is just refusing to want to agree to. And that's the one thing I could not find looking at this article is what the competition, what the
disagreement is.
What the referee association is really just pushing for. What is it they're pushing for that you don't want to give up? Because the NFL is one of the most successful sporting entities on the planet, making billions a year, and yet you can't pay these referees what you think they deserve? Very curious on this. I'm just not understanding a lot of it. But yeah. And also, that situation I was just stating was from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steeler receiver DK Metcalf wasn't ejected from a game at Detroit last season when he got into an altercation with a heckling fan because the on-field officials didn't see when Metcalf swiped at the fan. So no flag was ever thrown, and the replay center was unable to eject Metcalf. So eventually, the broadcast saw it and replayed it on television. But yet, because the refs didn't see it and that's the rule, the refs didn't see it in the act, they couldn't do anything about it. So that rule is now officially changed. So these players this year better be on their best behavior, because that means you do anything on the sideline that they don't see on the field. If that gets replayed, they can then have the authority to discipline you in whatever way they want at that moment they notice. So,
Silver raise.
What's that?
They want a 6.45% average annual raise. And they'll also try and convince the union to agree to several fundamental changes, including more performance-based assignments.
And that's what's holding up the whole agreement?
Uh-huh.
That's wild, bro. Well, you said annual raise. So what's that mean? They want to just have it gradually go up every season? Is that what that means?
Yeah, how we get our little 3% raise every year.
They want a 66%?
6.7.
Oh, 6.7%. I thought you said 66.
6.45, sorry.
All right. I mean, I get that. And I guess I'm betting that they're gauging that number off of looking at the projections for every NFL season and what they're going to make in profit. But I do also think you could understand the NFL when they make this money. Not saying like they don't have enough money to go around. That's definitely the argument. But when you look at the NFL, like, oh, we made this much money this year, right? Like, and it's a couple billion, right? Well, that's or a few billion, I should say. But that then gets split up between the 32 NFL teams. You know, you give them, and then the NFL as an organization keeps a take just because they're overseeing everything. So yeah, we're talking hundreds of millions or $1 billion. I get it. So yeah, it seems like they got enough to go around, but it is what it is. I just think.
What's up, Bullets?
What's up, Bullets? I just think you know, you got to also understand, like, there could be a day where the NFL stops making money. They may start losing money. That day may that day may come, and that's why the NFL does not want to sign a bargain agreement that's going to agree with these type of fucking pay increases. So that is what it is. But anyway,
crazy pay increase.
Anyway, moving on to Florida, NFL owners unanimously approve Camping World Stadium in Orlando as a temporary home for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2027. So not this year, next season. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to Disney World. The Jaguars will play most of their 2027 home games in Orlando after NFL owners rubber stamped a proposal Tuesday that has been years in the making and essentially a done deal for months. Owners voted unanimously at the league's annual meeting in Arizona to allow the team to temporarily relocate next year's home slate during the final stages of a $1.4 billion stadium renovation. Jacksonville started searching for a home away from home when they unveiled their plans back in 2023 to upgrade their stadium. The Jags considered playing at Daytona International Speedway in Gainesville, but Camping World was always a front runner. It became a no-brainer when Orlando leaders cleared a $10 million sports incentive package to help land the Jaguars earlier this year. The aging stadium also is undergoing a $400 million facelift, a project that will give the venue a modernized NFL-friendly infrastructure, which pretty much means, Diggs, is the stadium the Jaguars are going to play in the 2027 season, they're going to renovate that, and that's going to end up becoming the fucking Pro Bowl fucking stadium every year where they play flag football and all that bullshit. That's really all that means. Like a $400 million facelift on a stadium that no NFL team uses in case it's an emergency.
Yeah.
You know? So, but yeah. I mean, that's just temporary 1 year because I guess that $1.4 billion project for the Jaguars is obviously, it's going to be such a long renovation process that it's obviously going to go right into the season. They must have knew that when they got the plans together. So, and also, I'm sure you got to actually prepare because it's in Florida. You got to prepare for like hurricanes and shit because that can halt fucking construction, delay construction, all that type of shit too. So. All right. Last NFL story, and this is one for me and you that hits home. 5-time Pro Bowl cornerback Stephon Gilmore announces retirement from the NFL. I used to love Gilmore, bro. He was a great part of that last Brady Belichick era teams. Even though he only got one ring with us, but I think he played in like 3 Super Bowls. So I think he was part of 2 of the losses and one of the Rams game where we won. I love this guy, but yeah, it's I noticed he was kind of floating around these last few years. He couldn't really find a home. He wasn't as consistent as he was back in the day, but 13 years in the league, man, he's done. Nothing to say.
Did he announce what he's doing after, or is he just going to take the time with the family?
No, you'll love this because he used to be called Gilly Lock because he had the locks, but he was also a lockdown corner.
Mm-hmm.
He literally just tweeted "Gilly Lock out" with a peace sign. I was like, that was his retirement, and then his agent followed it up with a statement. I was like, that's a cocky way to retire after 13 years in a Super Bowl. That's pretty crazy, but decorated career. I don't know if we got stats on here. I actually didn't have stats. I put a whole article in there. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but started with the Bills. Obviously, some great seasons from him with the Patriots. Also had, where do you go? I think he went to the Carolina Panthers. And I thought he went to one more team, but that was it. So Bills, Patriots, Panthers, that's all I can think of off the top of the head. I don't know if he went anywhere else. But, yeah, man.
Indianapolis, Dallas, and Minnesota.
Holy shit. Okay, that was way more than I fucking thought. Well, all right, so he really was playing journeyman at the end of his career, huh? Was that all in the last few years?
Yep. In his final few seasons, Gilmore bounced around as a mercenary, spending one season each with Indianapolis, Dallas, and Minnesota. After
Oh,
spending 2025 out of the league, the 35-year-old Gilmore decided it was time to hang up the cleats that helped
yeah.
him rise to fame.
That's interesting, bro. He played for 3 teams in 1 year, man. Yeah.
3 different years.
Oh, okay. 2 different. Okay, 2 different years.
He spent one season at each team.
Oh, all right. Never mind. All right, never mind. I thought you said 3 in 1 year. You're saying 3 teams, 3 years. Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
Gotcha. Well, you know, shout out to the man, but it also kind of shows that we're getting older. That generation's older. We had a great run with those old school Patriots, but we're moving on. We're moving on. But speaking of moving on, we'll go to the MLB. Got some stories here. Thank you to our producer Sanchez for these stories. But umpire CB Bucknor hit with a 100-mile-per-hour fastball foul to lead to injury and exit. So, veteran umpire CB Bucknor took a straight shot off the mask in the second inning during the Brewers' 8-2 win over the Rays at American Family Field, and he had to leave the game. He was down for a bit, getting checked on by trainers, and you could tell it wasn't just a quick shake-it-off situation. First base ump Chad Fairchild had to go swap his gear and then come back out to finish the game behind the plate with a 3-man crew. Brewers pitcher Jacob Morowski said it best. Basically, nobody likes seeing that happen, and yeah, especially when you realize what hit him. It was a 100.2 mile per hour fastball from Mizorowski that got fouled straight back by Nick Fortes and drilled Buckner right in the mask. No time to react. Just boom. Rob says Buckner needs to be fired on the sheer fact he is horrible.
Yeah, can I piggyback off that too? Because the past couple, I think it's been the past 2-3 weeks, he hasn't even been watching the plays. Like he called an out on somebody, which you'll see which is written in the paragraph after, where someone ran the first base bag, right? And he wasn't even looking at the play being made, and he called him out.
Which
And
was
the child,
he made a call at first saying Jake Bauer's missed the bag, but replay showed he clearly hit it. Brewers challenge got it overturned, and Bowers ended up scoring in a 6-2 win. That what you're talking about?
yeah. And then yesterday, right, literally about 2 hours before this incident happened, where he got hit in the face, an article came out that said something needs to be done about CB Buckner, and then he gets hit in the face a couple hours later.
Fucking
Collusion.
Rob's over here saying, pretty sure Helen Keller can call better. Jesus Christ, Rob. Wow. I understand, like, especially when it's your team and those calls go against you. I can understand how emotional you get and how mad you get at the officiating, because I do it too in the NFL. But damn, do you deserve to take 100-mile-per-hour fastball to the face, though, bro? I understand you're wearing a mask, but damn,
I've taken an 80-mile fastball to the face during like my game years, and I can imagine what a 100 feels like. Jesus,
I don't know if I'd wish that on anybody. If that doesn't hit you in the mask, bro, you could die. Like, you could easily die.
Yeah.
That guy turns his head slightly and it can get a shot to the temple. You're fucking down, bro. You're going down. So I don't know, but I understand. Passionate sports fans, they're gonna wish that. I've seen it, dude. They wish death on these officiating teams. It's crazy. I've taken a tray of lasagna to the face stoned. Okay, well, that's not a fastball, but you know what? It's pretty impressive.
we'll take it.
We will take it. Rob just keeps talking about other people that could call better games. Thanks, Rob. Now he's saying Ray Charles could call a better game. That's impossible. Come on now. All right, moving on. Trevor Bauer, former MLB pitcher, signs with the Long Island Ducks. Major news. Trevor Bauer, a former Cy Young Award winner and one of baseball's most polarizing figures, is continuing his unconventional career path after a dramatic exit from Major League Baseball. Bauer last pitched in the league with the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2021 before being accused of sexual assault. That'll do it. An allegation that ultimately did not result in criminal charges. But despite that outcome, Major League Baseball handed down a lengthy suspension under its domestic violence policy, and the Dodgers later released him, effectively ending his MLB tenure, as teams have since avoided the controversy surrounding him, leading Bauer to take his career overseas, where he joined the Yokohama Dena,
Yeah.
Yokohama Dena Bay Stars in Japan. There, he not only performed well on the mound, but also rebuilt his image internationally by embracing the culture and documenting his journey through content that connected with fans in a way rarely seen from American players abroad. And now, in his latest chapter with the Long Island Ducks, Bauer is leaning fully into entertainment, going viral for being mic'd up during games, interacting with fans in real time, and even singing during appearances, turning his outings into a hybrid of competition and content as he attempts to redefine himself not just as a pitcher seeking a return, but as a personality navigating the evolving intersection of sports, media, and public perception. So, question, Sanchez, the Long Island Ducks, is that part of that, like, that league you guys talked about?
Yeah, it's like well, they're kind of considered the minor league, but they're not like official.
Oh, okay.
Like official MILB.
Well, no, because like the way the article kind of makes it sound is like, it's like that banana shit you guys were talking about the other night?
Oh, the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, they're like all that goofy shit they were doing.
That's what it sounds like.
No, the Ducks are an AA. They're just an independent partner league. Yeah, because they're part of the Atlantic League of baseball, and this is a huge thing because he's been overseas for years now, and
yeah, it doesn't, so it doesn't actually say the year he joined the Yokohama Dena Bay Stars, so I don't know when he got there and how long he was over there for. Obviously, enough time to reinvent himself, but that could mean, I don't know, a year, two, or way more. So that'd be kind of interesting to know how long it took. But so while he was playing,
2023.
2023. Okay, so yeah, like 3 years. So while he was over there, when it says, like, when the article says this, what was he doing? Like, he was posting like stuff behind the scenes on like YouTube and shit.
Oh yeah, he was posting really good stuff. He was showing like how he was living out abroad, which was really, really interesting because you never got to see that perspective from any players in the league. He also was also like big in the baseball community out there, and he actually came out with a very viral video of him getting hit in the face with a baseball bare with no mask. After someone hit the ball and it just rocketed back to him, and regarding, his accusations, I mean, everything got cleared up. It turned out to be a very ridiculous case.
Yep.
And, as Rob said, he was a guy who got screwed by the MLB. They just won't give him a chance. But a lot of sports newscasters are talking about, could this be an open door for him to come back? But this is a very small team, and for any, I guess, someone who looks up to him, this is going to be a good chance for you to have a chance to interact with him properly. He's very good with the fans, and he really has proven himself.
I want to touch.
So
base. I want to touch base back on that though, like what you just said though. So with time, a lot of people say time heals all, but MLB is one of those organizations that has kind of like always been run kind of old school in a lot of ways. Yeah. A lot of tradition in the MLB. Do you personally, as a baseball fan, see them giving him a second chance?
I think that if some leadership will be a little more open or change, I think that there's an opportunity. Under this leadership, no.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
feel,
he's old. He's 35 years old now. He's probably got like another 10 years on him.
and this is like a dangerous topic to really talk about, but like that's the thing about male sports figures, or actually men for the most part. If you get accused of something horrific, sexual assault, something like that, you're kind of guilty in public
No matter
perception,
what.
no matter what. Like
Yeah.
there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people should for those who are curious about the case, they should check it out themselves. From some perspectives, it looks like two people who had a weird kink. In other perspectives, it looks like two people who just went too far. That's that was kind of like the perspective that was given out from a lot of people as well. And he has been if anything, Trevor Bauer has been more open about anything, even probably going against some of his lawyers' advice, going publicly and going on the internet and talking about this stuff.
Lawyers are always like, shut your mouth, don't say nothing. But I think nowadays, because that's the norm, that kind of people just assume you're guilty by doing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because lawyers do have a point. I'm sure, like if you're a big time lawyer and you're defending a client, they've had enough experience with clients where they opened their mouth when they weren't supposed to and made themselves look more guilty. So that could happen too. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So but it sucks, man. It sucks for something to derail, something like that to derail somebody. If as long as they're innocent, that definitely does suck. And Rain said, unfortunately, I don't ever think the MLB will ever let him back or let him come in as a coach either. Wow. Okay.
That's the part that hurts too. He was kind of a crybaby on the mound, but he was a good pitcher. So and for him, and that's usually what happens. These baseball players, they either buy a sports brand, become a newscaster, or become a coach.
Also, the question would be too: would he, if he had the opportunity to go back, would he? I mean, obviously, he probably would because the MLB.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah, like
I could be wrong. I think he may have offered them pennies to bring him back.
Well, like the MLB contracts are so massive, so I'm guessing it's obviously a financial plus to go back, but like, oh, he said he would. Rob said he would. But I don't know, with a social media following that he just obviously developed over the years, I'm sure he's making good there, but you're not going to be able to do that behind the scenes footage and YouTube videos when you sign to the MLB. They don't let you do that.
No.
They control.
No.
They're just like the ML, they're just like the NFL. They control the social media. What you do outside of them, it better be outside of them. They don't let you do anything inside the facilities. No matter what, like you cannot, if you're signed to a professional organization, pro sporting organization in this country, no, those entities control their social media.
So are they even allowed to have like a Twitch channel?
I don't think so.
So the NFL allows their players to, but they can get fined for conduct on what they do. So, like. Tyreek Hill has a Twitch. Wow, I'm like drawing a blank now. I used to know a bunch of fucking athletes. Mike Evans has a Twitch. A lot of receivers I can think of have like Twitch accounts. They play video games. Quarterback Kyler Murray. He just signed with who he just signed with on. I just announced this last week. He used to be the starting quarterback for the Cardinals, but he's going to the Vikings this year. Kyler Murray's a huge gamer. He's got a Twitch account. Just to state a quarterback for once. And then I know some retired football players I follow on Twitch, former linebackers, shit like that. They stream as well. Oh yeah, Cam Newton has a Twitch, but Cam kind of went away from Twitch when he started his podcast though. So now he's kind of all purpose. I don't even know if he does I don't think he does his podcast live. I think they pre-record it and then air it. So I don't even know. But a lot of athletes definitely have Twitches in the NFL. I can't speak on the NBA, MLB. Do you know any MLB players that have a Twitch account, Sanchez?
No, but you want to know something? I think there was a story that came out a couple months ago. I can't find it, that where this guy who was in the minor leagues, he got rich off of Twitch, and the MLB told him to stop, and he broke his contract with them. And I can't remember who it was, but I don't think MLB will allow it.
Yeah, I think every sporting league has a different rule on that. I know Shadour Sanders, that we talked about early tonight. He changed his number from 12 to 2.
Yep.
Shadour Sanders, when he was waiting to get drafted, legitimately fucking streamed this like crazy draft party, right? Now, Sanchez, I don't know if you know how the NFL draft works now. Thursday, they air it during prime time, 8 o'clock and on for the first round, right? And that's it. The first round goes, and then the next day is rounds 2 and 3. And then the day after that's rounds 5 through 7. So he went live on Twitch, Shadour Sanders, expecting to get drafted in the first round. Didn't get drafted. So then he went live on Twitch the second day for rounds 2 and 3. Went live, had this big party, all this shit. Didn't get drafted.
Oh, I remember this. This is the one where he had like that nice bedroom and shit, where he did like a whole. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
His father's an NFL legend. His father's Deion Sanders, primetime. But yeah, that was probably one of the most embarrassing fucking draft things I ever saw. He was smart enough not to go to the draft and sit there and wait, but he was not smart enough to keep his mouth shut and just not putting himself out there. Gold Room, yeah, thank you, Rob. Gold Room. But anyway, what's this that From the Dungeon dropped in here? He said, not the most recent one. He said something about look at what happened to WWE ends. Oh, he was talking in relation to that last topic we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Enzo. Yeah, I mean he's a moron though. And then I remember that Enzo situation because he after he got fired, didn't he show up? He bought a ticket and showed up at he showed up at a televised event and made like a bunch of fucking noise and shit.
Yep.
People thought it was a work, but he really did buy a ticket and get kicked out. That guy fucked his career up. Because if he would have just left, never said a word to them, and then let the allegations go away, he might have won back. You never know. They fucking brought X-Pac back and put him in the Hall of Fame after a sex tape. Like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a sex tape. That's not rape.
Right, but nothing ever. I'm pretty sure nothing ever came out of the allegations of rape. Did he ever get charged for rape? He would be in jail, I would assume. He never did jail time. He never got.
Correct.
He never did anything. Like he never got charged with anything after that. That's what I'm saying. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Yeah, there was allegations, but nothing ever really came to fruition like that. But then again, you're right. I mean, you're right. The fucking TKO blackballed Vince McMahon, and he still hasn't been charged. So I don't fucking know.
It goes back to Trevor Bauer. Once you get accused,
yeah, right, exactly. It goes
whether you're guilty or not. Yeah, guilty.
Yep, exactly. The woman lied. Did she come out and admit she lied, or the woman lied? You're just saying that as an opinion. That would be my question. I don't know. I can't remember that story. I remember I was a bigger fan of wrestling back then, but like no, lately I feel like it's died out a little bit. I keep saying this. Actually, I feel like I've been saying this like for the last couple of weeks, but they cannot top WrestleMania 40, bro. Like it just died after that. I'm not looking forward to this Mania, none of that. And also, when I went to ESPN, they really lost me as a fan.
Yeah.
You went to ESPN and you want me to pay those prices to watch your shit? Go suck a fat one, bro. Like, I'm not paying that much to watch a WWE PLE. I don't care if it's Mania or what it is. That is not happening. No, it wasn't him. The woman lied. It was kind of like the same thing that happened with Tupac. Gotcha. All right. Well, it is what it is. Well, speaking of athletes that ruin their lives, let's move on to our next story.
Oh, good old Tiger Woods.
Good old Tiger Woods back in the forefront. Look at that face. Look at that face. So, if you're living under a rock, Tiger Woods, once again, crashed his vehicle and is being charged with a DUI. He did take a breathalyzer on site after flipping his car onto the side after being involved in a collision. He did pass the breathalyzer, but then immediately refused for a urine test. But we got a little bit of the body cam footage. It got released. So let's just check out a little bit of this to kind of show you guys the situation here. Oh, he's taking the knee. All right.
It's always a good start.
Yeah, always a good stop. He's taking the knee. I got this. He got the. Oh yeah.
Down,
There's no.
my
Oh,
phone,
there's.
and all of a sudden, boom. I'm gonna just take a look here. I go in and just like take. Is this comfortable for you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm used to this. I'm cool. I'm used to this. He's been doing this enough that he knows. Yeah, I'm good.
You see his truck there to the right?
Oh, is that it? Oh shit. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, you're not supposed to see a car like that. Yep. Okay. Yeah, you're good. Your car ain't. Luckily, you're richer than
We're still gonna have our medical.
fucking most people.
Was he doing good too and coming back on an upswing?
Well, I'll bring that up in a second. But yeah, there it is. Look at that car. Yeah, usually the rubber has to be on the road, brother. That's usually how that works.
This guy loves driving fucked up, man. You just.
So his most legendary incident like this was years ago, like a long time ago. Because I remember back in the day, it was such a viral joke. I think SNL made a skit about it. South Park did an episode about it where he got in a car chase. He ran away from his ex-wife. She chased him, ran him off the road, and then like even though they crashed and they were all fucked up, she continued to beat the shit out of him. They pulled him out of the car to try to beat the shit out of him
With his own golf clubs.
Well, I don't know if that part was true. I remember them like leaning towards that, but I can't. That was an old story, but I don't know if that was actually true. But
I know the car at least got hit with one.
yeah, I think that might have been it. I think she might have hit the car with it, and I think that was before the chase. That's I think what happened. I think she hit the car with the golf club, and that's what made him take off. And then she got in her car and chased him, and then it continued however many miles down the road.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, his ex-wife Ellen Nordegren said that the claims were ridiculous. That she never hit him with the golf club. It was the car.
Yeah. Because if you watch, it's actually one of my favorite episodes of South Park. I'm pretty sure I don't know what episode it was, but I just remember two of the characters are literally playing like Xbox on the cartoon, and then another two characters come in like, well, what's up, guys? What are you guys playing? Oh, we're playing the new PGA Golf Tour, and then it just cuts to the scene, and it's literally fucking Tiger getting chased by his wife, and then like one player's controlling one, and the other player's controlling the other. It's like, oh no, you hit me off the road. Oh no, you better not come at me with that golf club. It was just so fucking funny. Oh man, that's how you know you made an impact, though. When South Park does an episode about your situation. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Tiger's done this a few times now. It seems to always in the kind of piggyback off what you were about to say earlier, Digz. It seems to always happen literally right after he returns to golf. Like he leaves golf for a while, has a surgery, rehabilitation, whatever he has to do, and then he returns to golf. And usually, the reports I hear about him is like, oh, Tiger Woods looked good at his most recent return to golf. And then shortly thereafter, you hear a fucking report that this guy is just fucked up and he flips a car and he gets a DUI. So I don't know.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well, no, he's on painkillers. I heard. I think he's addicted to like chewing painkillers. Because this is the first one I think where he didn't get. He took a breathalyzer and passed, but they could tell he was under the influence of something. So then they wanted him to take a urine test. He was like, "No, I'm not peeing in a cup for you." From the Dungeon says, when they had a golf tournament in Jersey City at my old job, the Hyatt, he was there and he had one of his guys grabbing blondes outside and bringing them upstairs. Holy shit. Oh, he gets down like that? He likes blonde white girls? You know what? He looks like the type. I'm not even going to lie. He looks like the type. He does. Well, congratulations, Tiger. You're probably not going to win a Masters this year, but you won your third DUI, so congrats, bro.
Masters.
Have fun paying your caddy extra money to pick you up from your house every day. Have fun, because you ain't driving for a while. Digz, you got any final thoughts?
No. How about you?
I know. I said everything I got to say. He's no John Daly. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Well, everyone that's in chat, Rob, Dungeon, anyone else that's been lurking, or anyone else I might have missed, appreciate everyone that jumped in here for the Jam and Digz podcast, episode 11. We will be back here next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like always. We'll see if Toshi comes back. We don't know. He might quit.
No, he got fired.
Well, you say that, but then he comes back every fucking week.
It's like herpes that way.
Anyway, make sure you check out all the other Clean Sanchez Media podcasts that are over here on Clean Sanchez Media's YouTube channel. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., you will see Sanchez and Gio for Morning Rips. And then Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, they will be there for BRVG. Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, you can check out the boys for DD214. And like I said, we'll be back here next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then make sure you keep an eye out for the clock, because the second Clean Sanchez annual coming in August. Is that right? August? Did I get that right?
Yep, August 1st.
August 1st. Okay, making sure.
Yeah, I'm actually sending out the applications tomorrow morning.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Later, homies.
From the backyard to the turnbuckle flips, New England kids now.